We got some great stories come up today, including the fact that the Chicago White Sox made a splash, okay? You're all thinking, hey, when are some moves going to happen? Well, the White Sox, they're making moves, and they signed Liam Hendriks. Quite simply, this guy has been the best reliever in baseball since 2019. He signs a 3-year deal with the White Sox for $54 million. Now, interesting contract, $15 million club option for 2024 or a buyout for $15 million over a designated period of time. So bottom line is this, he is exactly the shot in the arm this White Sox bullpen needed. And Al, I think the conversation now becomes, hey, already favorite in the AL Central, they might be the favorite in the American League. How great is Hendriks?
Yeah, so pretty cool contract, right? You got a 3-year guarantee, what, 11, 12, 13, with this buyout, whether you're deserving or not, for $15 million.
First I've ever heard of that. Have you ever heard of that?
No, that's what, when I saw this, I'm like, was it 3 or 4 for 54? But good for him. And I think it's a terrific story beyond, because we did have him on with the best relievers at the end of the year with the award show. And I think when you look at guys, and I believe this in my heart, when you don't give up. Here's a guy with Minnesota, goes to Toronto, was a starter, back and forth, found his place as a reliever, gets to Oakland, and really was kind of up and down. In 2018, guys, Liam Hendriks, who just signed the highest AAV of any reliever in the history of our sport, was sent to the minor leagues in Nashville, and he was DFA'd, which means any team could have just plucked him and put him on their 40-man roster. And they didn't. And he found himself to get a 1.77 and a 1.78, and, of course, this year, you know, with the shortened season. So good for him, and what a contract.
Well, the thing that I look at him, and you talked about a guy not giving up, right? So he went back to the drawing board. He gets DFA'd, goes into that 2018 wintertime, and he starts to change his repertoire. He starts to dig into the analytics, and clearly went from a two-seamer. When he got to the big leagues, he was a two-seamer, throwing about 90 miles an hour. Now he totally gets away from the two-seamer, goes to the four-seamer, and now his velocity is up to 96 miles an hour. He became a totally different pitcher. Same strength, same arm strength, but he just changed his approach. And I think we're seeing more and more of that with pitchers trying to figure out what is the best for me. Yes, maybe I learned a two-seamer when I was a young kid and it worked for me in college, but now that I'm in the big leagues, I need to change my repertoire. I need to change it. So we're seeing spin rates gone up with his four-seamer, spin rates gone up with his breaking balls, and you have to love this guy's approach. I mean, he is just that Aussie out there ready to just take you by the throat. You got to love that as a closer.
Let me add to that, Val, because in addition to two-seamer and four-seamer, here's a guy when you kind of are finding yourself. And I'm with you. This guy's he is the epitome of what I think Gossage and the old school snarling guy, and I love it. But what he did was he went to the minor leagues, and as simple as, what do you need to do? He was a long toss guy. Now, not to get into the weeds of long toss and how far. Some organizations don't allow you to go more than a certain amount of feet. So when he went down to the minor leagues, he's like, I need to throw more. So when you're in this quandary of a starter in mind that every 5 days, even though he's been a reliever, you're not really sure of the usage and how much you throw. And he went to the minor leagues in Nashville and started long tossing far, a lot. And it actually helped elevate his velocity, gain confidence, much crisper, really good two-pitch mix. Came up that year, the following year, 1.8, and then this year at 1.78. So I don't know if it's a light bulb scenario, but his routine actually helped him really get him where he is now.
Yeah, the trajectory is amazing. You know, signed from Australia, he was a starter of the Royals and Jays, doesn't work out, big into the analytics, codify, he understands different things. And it's those secondary pitches, Val. You look at the numbers, he's up there, right there with Dinelson Lamet. Like every closer, you got to have wipeout stuff. You certainly have to have a great fastball, in his case, a four-seamer. But his off-speed stuff, that is filthy, and he can throw it on any count.
Well, the fact that he would come at you with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball and then has secondary stuff that is swing and miss. So everything that he comes at you with is swing and miss. And you start looking at the numbers, right, digging in. 13 strikeouts per 9 innings to go against only 2 walks per 9 innings. So you talk about power and command as a closer. Wow, what a combination.
How about, wow, what a team the White Sox are putting together. They were 7th in MLB with their relievers last year. Adding him, looks like Colome's got to be gone, right? I mean, you're not going to have 2 closers. Aaron Bummer really found himself.
Top 10 reliever we had last night.
Evan Marshall, I like him. Ross Detweiler. We saw Aaron Crochet, the guy at the University of Tennessee, a first-round pick.
Garrett Crochet, yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah, Garrett Crochet, they're right there. I mean, guys, we know the dynamic of their offense. And then the addition of Lance Lynn. Dare I say, is this the team to beat in the American League?
Yeah, you start to say, listen, identify weaknesses. Let's pick it up a little bit, Al. They were behind Minnesota and Cleveland, both those teams in their division in terms of their bullpen. So let's bolster this.
Yep.
Lance Lynn, I know you like a lot.
I
This
do.
guy, he's not just an innings eater. He's effective. He's strong. Giolito is a Cy Young candidate. Their offense is really good. I'm with you. This isn't just best team in the Central. I feel pretty confident about that. I think maybe best team in the American League. The Rays have lost 2 of their star pitchers in Morton and Snell. Yankees, we don't know about LeMahieu, 3 of their starters. I like the White Sox a lot.
I do. I really do. I mean, it's easy to fall in love. I mean, we talked about the Padres and the White Sox last year, going into spring training, young kids. This is an interesting team. They bring Keuchel in. Giolito's figured it out.
Yeah.
With the new arm action, great changeup, good stuff. First rounder several years ago with the Nats. Put Keuchel in there, who had a very good year, lefty, right, left, and now Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn is about as old school as they come. The beard and his whole look says like
Burly guy.
somewhere like
Softball league.
yeah, where's Dennis Camp? Or, you know, back in the day. I love it. I think what the White Sox are doing, we'll talk more about it. Of course, Michael Kopech's interesting. He chose not to play last year because of COVID. Great arm from the Red Sox system. It's a good team.
You mean Dennis Lamp, though, right, on the Blue Jays? With the Fu
Dennis
Manchu?
Lamp.
Yeah, Dennis Lamp.
That's what I was thinking.
Him too.
Okay. Dennis Camp, also awesome. Look him up. Go ahead.
I was just thinking of Kopech, right? He took off last year because of COVID, but he was coming off of Tommy John. It's probably almost a good thing for him to have that year and a half of just resting his arm to come back in full strength. But this team does not have a weakness at this point in time. It's not in their starting rotation. It's not in their bullpen. And it's certainly not in that lineup with all that young power that they've got.
It's not a weakness. It is a concern, though. You got a manager who's 76 years of age. Now, I know Tony La Russa's won World Series.
Come on.
But there's some thought, Al, can he adapt to analytics, the modern game?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think it's a no-brainer?
Yes. Oh, my God.
Tim Anderson, him get along, no problem?
Yes.
Yohan Moncada, no
Listen,
issues?
Tony, while he hasn't managed in several years since the Cardinals, he's been in the game.
Right, Red Sox
D-backs,
advisor.
Red Sox, you know, so this isn't like he's just flying in and landing and saying, hello, who are you guys? You know, he's been around.
Right.
And listen, he's smart enough to know, like, you know, less is more, and go ahead, boys. So,
And this is the type of team you write up the lineup and you just get out of their way.
Right.
Yep. You know, there's not a lot of
Are you
moving
concerned?
parts.
I just think there's a little bit of feel of like, listen, there's such a focus on these young managers, analytics heavy, mixing and matching. Maybe La Russa's. Listen, the game changes so much. Verducci was telling me, in the last 5 years, look how much the game has changed with shifting and moving your bullpen. I know, listen, Tony was instrumental with the way he used Eck.
But are you
it
saying,
changes so quick.
So is there a stubbornness to an old guy who doesn't want to do it? Nah, maybe.
Yeah.
That might be the conversation that we're talking about.
Because I have to look at some way. Okay, listen, past history, they haven't been successful. I don't think that's a big deal, though. People say, well, the White Sox haven't won a lot of playoff games in their history. I go, well, whatever. It's new players. I don't worry about that. But I say, do you have the right chemistry right out of the gate? That I don't know.